Now let's look at the next topic, which is drilling as a key decision point. Drilling is a costly undertaking. You already know this. Therefore, it is essential to carefully plan and execute drilling programs to maximize their value. You don't want to just jump into a highly costly project without first of all planning. So because it is highly expensive, we need to do a lot of planning before we engage. The results of drilling programs often determine the fate of our exploration project. So the results we obtain, if it is favorable, then we will continue the exploration project. If it is not favorable, then we have to abandon it. If it is favorable, then means that we know that when we mine, we engage in mining, we will not run at a loss, but we make some money. And the objective of mining is to make money, to make profit. So even though this particular deposit contains mineral, okay, this is the deposit. But after we did our exploration, we found out that the grade of the deposit is not enough to cover all the mining costs or the all expenses. So what do we do? What we will do is that we have to abandon it, or we will wait for economic conditions to be favorable. Economic conditions can be the price of commodity at the time. Maybe at this time the price of commodity is lower. So when we are doing our feasibility study, it doesn't favor us. What do? We have to wait until the price of commodity is higher. Or maybe the cost of operation, the cost of mining, the cost of processing, the cost of refining are high. We can wait until the cost reduces, then we can engage. Okay, so it's very important for you to do all this analysis and also avoid certain costs, engaging certain costs, so that you can maximize cost. Now, type of information obtained from drilling. Like, what is the role and importance of drilling in exploration? During the drilling process, what are some of the information that you obtain from the drilling? Each of the drill hole, what are the information we need to obtain? Or during the analysis, what are the information we need? We will look at the lithology. The lithology is talking here about the rock type and the composition. So every rock type will tell us how we should deal with the deposit. So when we know if we are dealing with Faza, then in the mining, you will know what kind of mining equipment we should engage, we should use in the mining process. It's very important. And the structure here talks about the fault, the geological faults, fractures, faults, and other geological structures like joints and what sort of view and so on. So those are important for us to know. Tell us the stability of the rock formation that we are dealing with. So when we don't get to know the stability of the rock, it will tell you of how you should, what method you should use to do your mining. So which mining method you are going to use for the mining phase. So, and we need to get to know all this information so that we can plan ahead. We also look for the alteration, the changes in the rock due to hydrothermal fluids. So the rock undergoes changes, because of external materials that pass through them. You can have some parts that is having a lot of water going through it due to the fractures of the faults within it. So this water can pass through the faults or the fractures within the rock, and it can actually have a lot of influence on the stability of the rock. And also, there can be some parts of the rock that is highly exposed to high temperature or heat. So because of that, we need to know So that when we are getting closer to certain area, we know what to do before we get there. When we are doing the mining, we are getting to an area where it is highly, uh, the temperature there is very high. Need to eat yourself to avoid any kind of, and the mineralization, the presence and abundance of valuable minerals within the rock. So during the analysis, we find out the mineralization within the rock. Is there gold in the mineral in the deposit? Is there silver? Then what are the mineralization? A company can decide that okay, there could be a lot of minerals within the sample or within the rock, but we want to focus on only one type of mineral, maybe gold, maybe silver or manganese. All these mining companies, you see them processing or mining for gold. Sometimes most of them they have not just gold, they have other minerals that are embedded within the rock that they are working with. Okay. But their focus is just on gold. So the other minerals they keep it as waste to end up putting it as gold. And also they look at the information we look at in the concentration, by the grade. When we are looking for gold, what is the concentration of gold within this organ? So within every sample, be able to determine the grade within the sample. Then we now push it all the grades in all the various samples to get the grade of a particular block. So the grade of the gold within a particular block. We also will look at the geotechnical properties. That's the rock strength, the density, and other properties relevant to mine design. Geology, hydrogeology, and downhole geophysics. So all these are some of the information that are obtained during sampling, during the drilling. Now let's look into the cost of drilling. The cost of drilling. Drilling is the most expensive phase of an exploration project. Within the exploration project, drilling is the most expensive, typically accounting for a significant portion of the overall budget. As I said, most of these companies are charged based on uh, the dollar per meter drop. Okay, so, but some companies are also charged based on the uh, volume of material mined. That is during the mining time. But in exploration, you are charged per meter drop. And the deeper the borehole, the higher the cost. When you are maybe within the first 20 meters drill, the cost will be different. Maybe from the first 20 meters, you can be charged $50 per meter. But let's say beyond 20, from 20 to 50, you can also be charged, uh, let's say $60. Maybe from 50 to 100 or 200 meters below depth of 200 meters depth, can charge let's say $70 per meter. And beyond, maybe from 200 to 500, that can be charged $10 or $18 per meter. From 500 to 1,000, you charge $100 or $200 per meter. So the deeper the depth, the higher the cost. So drilling costs can vary significantly, and these are the things that can affect the cost of drilling. The drilling method. What method are you going to use for the drilling? You can use RC drilling. You can use core drilling. You can use air blast. So core drilling is generally more expensive than RC drilling. So because with the core drilling, we have to be very steady, and we are going to use diamond drilling, which is an expensive material, expensive, like expensive equipment, and it's very difficult. because you need to obtain a very good and correct of the core sample. So part of that is expensive, expensive than the house. The depth, I've already explained the depth. And the location, if you are going to perform drilling within remote areas are more expensive due to increased logistics and transportation. You need to travel long distance to get to these areas, and when you get there, you need to spend more because you are going out of the comfort zone to an area.